It's the English
Yeah,
showdown.
man,
It's the English
that
derby.
logo is beautiful.
It is. The way
And we see DeMu for the second time today, KP. With the English in, what an opening already. You said Snooze Fest. DeMu has other plans. Insta-Barrack, he's going to try and pressure that stone and gold of RecoN, and RecoN's mines did spawn forward. So this is going to potentially pay off very easily.
I want to vomit for him. I mean, like, you're playing Abassus, you're a defensive player by nature, and what do you have that you can actually defend here?
I think the gold is even. I think the gold is even far enough where the Man-at-Arm can just shift V. Like, you could just hold ground, like, between the gold and the mining camp and just not take TC damage. Which if that's the case, this could get bad fast. Does RecoN know?
Can we check the wood line actually again? Because like sometimes you get this slightly loose spawn where a longbowman, like they could just run between the TC and the wood, the eastern wood, right? If that happens, you can't even get food that's meant to be safe. Not this wood, like the other one. Like, okay, so it is close enough that if he tries that dive, he's going to take damage on longbows. That's the one positive for RecoN. Once again, that's the one positive, Winston. Like
Yeah, this is gonna get rough. I mean, this is definitely gonna be like the problem for RecoN is Abbasid is a civ that feels very reliant on gold to like get their feudal age going, right? Like French, you can like sometimes be like, okay, I'll give up my gold for just a little bit just so I can like get a couple archers out to defend, then get my gold back. But with Abbasid, that feels so much worse, right? Delaying those critical techs, and it's going to be close if he's going to have to mine through the damage to get enough to click up. That's how good this timing is for DeMu. Beautiful stuff. Like, this is going to be tricky. I think he's got just enough.
I hope so. That should have been the final tap. He's maybe going to have like
enough.
2 extra than what he needs. No, please let it be a 6 drop off. Oh my god, no.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna get enough now though.
Yeah, but look at the damage done, right? Like half his villager force are almost dead. If you cough on them, they'll die.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, 199, dude, that's so much pain. And it's like it's tricky because you're not even think about it. You're a bastard. You're not even going to be getting wheelbarrow in the situation. Fertile Crescent's off the table. Like your opening is rough here. Do you even have to just go milling?
Military,
like
I think like
honestly, like what are you going to do with Eco Wing?
Die more because there'll be more buildings, so they'll be cheaper. You know, there you go. I don't like this, man. This is so uncomfortable right now. DeMu had the perfect read, and ironically enough, this is very reminiscent of a game where DeMu was on the receiving end, right? The H3 Abassa matchup, but this one's more lethal in a different way. You won't have the bulk that Zertin did as the H3 in that game, but what you have as the English is you have the quality. You still have the men-at-arms presence, but now you're going to have longbowmen that can reach in and trade for free, something that normal archers wouldn't have been able to do.
Yeah, that's really tricky. Like you said, all those low HP vills are just going to die like flies if 2 or 3 longbows show up, so RecoN's going to have to find a way out of this one, and I think it's going to be just early military, just build what he can. We'll see if it's going to be a stable or a range to defend this. I could see either working here for him if he wanted to go one way or the other. He doesn't have great food income for the stable right away, so it's probably going to be an archery range, right?
Yeah, I think
right?
like maybe archery range and then you set up an outpost, right? And you try to finesse the fights like that. Because I think if you go horseman, you know, there's already a Rax there. And yeah, and like on top of that, there's already a Rax for English, and they get hardened upgrade for free the moment they hit the tech up. So you kind of feel already counted. And you know, the only upside is like, for the moment, RecoN has that back resource. But I cannot emphasize this enough. It is one berry patch. That deer further out doesn't feel safe. I wouldn't feel comfortable going to that.
Yeah, and DeMu just needs to be super active with the scout in this situation, right? He has to keep his scout active and spot these extra gold mines. If RecoN's able to sneak 4 vills over to like the 8K on the north or one of the 4Ks on the south, and you can see he's doing that right now. He's scouting the map, making sure that RecoN's not being cheeky with the gold. And as long as that's happening, DeMu's going to be just in a prime position this game. So it's going to be both the stable and the range. So Horseman Archer going to be the defense here. Oh, Camel Archer. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah,
that's fine here, I guess. I mean, It's a bit pricey if you're trying to do horsemen as well. This is one of those classic comps. I remember this from like a year and a half ago. People always played a Basset in this horseman camel archer combo until the camel archers initially got nerfed, right? So I think you only needed 3 to one shot a spearman for a while, right? And so
Yes.
people would just have the 3 of them and then just mass horsemen, and it was really, really solid. But I think people have kind of figured out how to use spearmen better, how to position better with the slow composition of English in this matchup, for example. So it's not the most popular build anymore. I think a couple players still do this, but
Uh,
this feels like a reaction more than
usually,
anything.
usually you done it when you were threatened by the idea of horsemen. So like, if you thought it was gonna be a horseman match, that's where Bastards won because one camel was negating 20% of your opponent's damage output, right, with the unease. So that was
Yes.
where it was very impactful. So I can't imagine RecoN expects Horseman to come out. He just wants a dynamic force, right? By going with this comp, if there's any breakout opportunity, he can go and raid DeMu's base, and DeMu's static, so he won't react quickly. But right now, he's being played like a fiddle.
Yeah, DeMu, his micro here isn't perfect, but like honestly, it's pretty good. Like,
Oh, no, I think his micro is fantastic here. Like, the
oh,
RecoN
I
did
thought
get
you said
impact.
he was getting played with like a
No,
fiddle.
no,
I
no,
was
no,
like,
no,
is
no.
he,
Right
like,
now,
he's
DeMu
gonna
with...
kill the camel archer?
Dude,
Oh
this is
my
what I mean.
gosh! If
Like,
he kills that,
but you can't even like flirt it now because Longbowmen have such range, right? So now you have to dive in with
yeah.
these horsemen. The only upside he's got is there's no new spearmen coming out yet from DeMu. But you know, there's only one horseman to really contest it.
Yeah, that's rough without the spearman, actually. This horseman is having a field day, although the camel archer keeps baiting in, so RecoN's being really cute with it, trying to bait those archers forward, but Emily just not biting. And that was some just hot micro from both players in general. Really fun to see that stuff. I love those like early engagements when it's low numbers. It's just so fun because every unit and every movement matters. And this mattered a lot for RecoN because in theory he should have secured his gold a little bit. Looks like he didn't even bother going to. It's just going to keep focusing on the wood food production for now.
It's
As we see.
interesting because like the way that these fights play out, by the way, is a cool thing to think about. Is like even if RecoN evens up in the second half, being the advantage player in the opening is so much better, right? Because, you know, it sounds obvious to say, but it's the whole logic if it changes the way your opponent has to react to the second half. Most players will just back away because they've already lost. It's the same logic as if anyone watches Counter-Strike. There's a big talk about, you know, the advantage of like defender attack on certain maps because you're able to get to match point and that puts pressure on your opponent. It's the same in these early bouts because it forces RecoN to take a more defensive approach than he otherwise would. Oh, this
Yeah,
is a
no,
good wrap
for
round.
sure. Yeah, it's a good wrap in a nice attempt at a cleanup here. I don't think it's going to work. This one spearman not getting focused by the archers now does, but buys himself enough time. This
This is actually
not going
worked
to be
out
the
really well for RecoN. Like, he's
yeah.
cleaned up the Lombos. And this problem here for DeMu is, like, he doesn't have the economy to afford men-at-arms because instead of going onto the deer, he built farms, right?
Yeah, he's building farms, getting
Yeah.
wheelbarrows, stuff like that. Like a little longer game is his plan, I guess. But yeah, no, you're right. Like it's going to kind of peter out here, right?
By the way, the reason why DeMu went farms, like, people might look at this and go, you know, we've seen a lot of English players play on deer. We saw earlier today from B. The reason why he doesn't do it in this game is because of RecoN's comp. This is what made the double cavalry opening so good from RecoN. By going camel archers and horsemen, DeMu can simply not risk going that far out of his base because a raid while he's away from home would hemorrhage him huge amounts of villages he can't afford to.
Yeah, that's the value of those horsemen there. It's not just the fact that they raid; it's the threat that they can raid, right? Just like you
Exactly.
said. So, really good stuff from RecoN to like play into that a bit, and smart from them not to get like tricked by it. But interesting, RecoN keeps trying to go back to the stone. Have you noticed that? He just
Yeah.
sent 2 more vills to it. He drafted this 100 stone a while ago and just not doing anything with it. Maybe thinking about an emplacement, but or just slowly trying to build up to the eco wing because this all plays into English's favor, right? This whole long-term situation. RecoN still hasn't mined gold. Behind this, DeMu's had a couple vills on gold. He's getting the wood upgrade. He's gotten wheelbarrow. We could see a blacksmith soon. We could see more eco upgrades. Look at RecoN's upgrades. He's got nothing. Nada. And he's slowly winning the fights, but DeMu can just leverage the nice defensive stats of English and probably be okay here once he just pulls back to his reinforcements. And what has RecoN's investment got him? It's gotten him the fact that he's not dead yet. Right, but he still doesn't even have Fertile Crescent for this TC build.
No, but what it has got him is some map control, and you're seeing how he's leveraging that now. He moved out to the left berry bush, so now he feels comfortable to come out. He'll be able to access the gold again. I agree. DeMu had he had the right read on this. Like, he could have went all in on a deer timing, but then if it falls flat, if something goes wrong, like, if you feel like if you respect RecoN enough that there's a way you can hold, and you should respect RecoN, he's one of the best turtling players in the game, then this game falls apart for you. So that's why you didn't see DeMu strike for the kill when he could have. He saw the value in extending this game by setting up his farms. So, like, 5 or 10 minutes from now, he has more options than RecoN. RecoN, right now, is kind of a gambit in that if you lose these horsemen, if they start to pivot the other way, you're back in your base, still on 1 TC, with no farms and no food source.
Yeah, and that's not just some farms. He's up to 11 farmers already. Yeah. So the horsemen are going to be, like, denying the hunt, as we see here, but still pretty good stuff for DeMu. I would say this opening was really good for him. He's down 3 vills to RecoN, so I'm wondering if maybe there was some idle time from DeMu, or was there a raid that we missed?
There's only been 1 kill, right? 1 worker kill, and it was DeMu that got it. I think it's just...
Oh, right, yeah, you can look at that. I always forget. Spectator mode, the beauties of it.
I mean, it's like that early investment, right? Like, it's kind of surprising because he didn't go for the double men-at-arms opening, so, like, I'm wondering where the gap truly was. There was a lot of intense micro. I think that first battle around the mid-map where we saw the camel almost die was probably most likely where we saw some idle time on production of villages.
Yeah, now DeMu just picking off the reinforcements as... Sorry, RecoN picking off reinforcements as DeMu pushes out here. So several units going down. The horsemen, though, having a field day in the backline here. Yeah. And this is pressure on that TC placement, potentially.
He needs to be fast, though. And he's looking in the wrong place. I think he's heading towards the wood line, and he doesn't have a scout here. So DeMu doesn't know about the TC just to the left that he could intercept. He's going to check for it now. But too many villagers here. It is going to go up. He will not block RecoN from his second town center.
Yeah, and RecoN now, though, that will give DeMu the Vill lead briefly. So at least he's entering in this stage with equal Vill count as the TC goes up. So potentially giving DeMu a chance to react here. Oh, and more Vill's going to be going down here.
No
the line exposed. No wheelbarrow. A third Vill goes down. A fourth Vill goes down. A fifth Vill goes down. Oh my gosh, DeMu just racking him up here. That's crazy. And the Camel Archer gets sniped too. Wow. So this raid, which didn't look too powerful at first, RecoN didn't react properly and has to pay for that. Meanwhile, this horseman, I mean, they're stopping the reinforcements from meeting up with the main army, but not much else right now. Although that's a threatening massive units now, so he could come back soon and take this fight and clean up DeMu's army, which would put DeMu in quite a hole if this were to happen.
And we might not, we might actually get another episode of Calling with Winston, because that chop on that wood line has kind of opened a path for DeMu to just beeline north if he wants to. And I think there's like another 6 or 7 villages out on that deer patch for RecoN. Like, it's a very uncomfortable game for him. He knows he can't fight the main force. He's now gone second TC, and DeMu is aware that that means that there's less going to military. We do see the horseman count slowly escalating, but I'm starting to feel confident about DeMu's position. Just a few men-at-arms, a few spearmen, and enough longbows here, and this game becomes incredibly uncomfortable for RecoN.
Have you even checked? He has fertile. He doesn't have Fertile Crescent, right? Did he even get any
surprised.
Of the fresh food stuff?
Like he's prioritized going for military upgrades. He's got no eco upgrades. Like look at his gold income. It's crazy actually. I think he may have rallied them onto the berries instead of the gold. There has been a lot of pressure in this area, which is why he wasn't gathering originally.
Yeah, I just wonder if he's got any of those special techs behind it, fresh food stuffs and stuff. Oh, and the armies meet up.
Siege engineering's coming. This is a critical time. RecoN has enough horsemen to intercept this. If DeMu gets up to like 15 spears, I don't like ReCon's position.
I don't think RecoN likes ReCon's position. This is really tricky. This game has not gone the way he planned, right? This Dark Age barracks has been pivotal for DeMu's strat here. He's doing kind of this 1 TC feudal all-in from English that you don't see too often anymore. It's kind of a ladder build, right? But he opened into it with this barracks, and it's just been really, really strong, and really nice stuff from him. And he's got blacksmith techs. He's getting the final eco-tech in feudal age. He's got, like you said, siege engineering. It looks like he delayed that for something here. I guess he didn't have enough wood for a ram right away, so I think he delayed it.
Like, there's a little bit of like some player that like DeMu he's trying to keep that second TC idled, but the cool thing is like actually if he just parked on the east side, he achieves his real goal the whole time here, which is stop gold, right? But RecoN found a way to finesse it. He's got the gold together, but he's no longer interested in any eco upgrades. Like it's going to disgust you, but an Ambassador player is not going to have any additional pips other than those two on the Blacksmith for the foreseeable future, because it looks like he's rushing Castle. Don't know if you can call it a rush at this stage, but it's like from his position, his options, like the only way he sees his comeback in this game is unlocking Men-at-Arms.
And a huge raid? Oh, it's open!
Wait.
It's open.
No, no.
It's open in several spots. It's open right there. I guarantee you that's open. Right? Right?
Meanwhile, the base of RecoN is open for a raid. And he's going to torch this down. I do believe that this is chained in. So the torch armor... Wait, no. No! He's not in influence, right? Okay, thank God he is. So he's got the fire armor. This is going to slow it down at least. But there's enough units here still to take this out.
I don't know. DeMu with a slight miscalculation. This is kind of expensive. I mean, not a miscalculation, but like maybe
not
didn't
optimal,
take that
right?
5 armor into consideration, because this has taken a while. It's kind of killed all of his melee units, and you can see RecoN's focusing down the spearmen, so he's not wasting time on the man-at-arms at all. No. He's just killing the spearmen, which is important because that's a big, massive horseman, and he's got 2 spearmen left.
Well, they're going to tank the front line for the moment. And look at that move, DeMu. He goes straight into the choke point to minimize the horseman. They have to wrap around their own TC.
He's burning. And the TC's burning even, so he's going to have to pop out for repairs, and I think DeMu just wants to sit here, but I think DeMu's going to get cleaned.
I mean, he's still getting a good trade if you think about it, though, right? Like, the way the horseman played there, he didn't get the value out of the counter unit here. And it's all because of his own town center blocking the pathing.
And here's the repairs.
Oh, my goodness. RecoN's wiped.
Back in the TC bills go.
Yeah, but now the TC's going down. It's still on fire, RecoN. You're the dog right there in the fire. Everything is fine, but it absolutely is not here. He is going to get the tech up, but most of his production is frontline. His second TC is not going to survive this, and eco-wise, they're neck and neck. And DeMu really isn't that far away from Castle Age himself.
And no gold. No gold for RecoN. Exactly. He has to march a bunch of vills to the 8K on the right. You can see he just placed a mining camp. There's a migration happening, still without wheelbarrow, mind you. And man, DeMu is starting a Disco Inferno as he yells, "Burn, baby, burn." And this TC slowly but steadily will, I think, go down here as the vills pop out for another set of repairs. But it's like, come on. This TC's got to be on like 2 health.
I mean,
longbows are killing a TC right now. One damage at a time, baby.
There's 2 torches in there. 2 whole torches. He's wasting his time. It is buying time for the Men-at-Arms, but finally it is going to fall. RecoN worked so hard to get a second town center up. You have to ask, did it ever really net worth?
Well, without... unless I'm completely mistaken, I still think he doesn't have Fertile Crescent. So like, it wasn't even a discounted TC. That was just... a hard-built Abbasid full cost TC. And it's not going to be likely he can do that again, as we see another migration still without wheelbarrow. These longbows are dangerous. The gold mine is exposed on the right, so if DeMu notices or runs there, that could just be game.
I mean, he's heading there right now. He heard you. You have to whisper, Winston. I think DeMu's got some special hearing. And the King's Parcel's on the way. I mean, like, RecoN, he's going to get 10 Men-at-Arms, so it'll be enough to push this back. Or is it? Like, I mean, I'm just looking at the MA account. Sure, DeMu's a feudal age, but surely that can hold a front line long enough for your longbows to do damage.
I'm not sure. I mean, he's on those fills look so sad. So he's doing a bunch of these. Like, it's so surreal seeing like huge groups of units, and then you look at a Vil moving like it does in Dark Age.
It's not just that. It's been the health bars. Like, from start to finish this game, villager health bars have not looked good. And as expected, yeah, these Men-at-Arms aren't going to pack the punch. Just look at the damage they're taking from the longbow mass. Cameron is taken out.
I mean, Pierce Armor 2 just came in, so it's going to do a lot better now. You can see how much of a difference that made. The longbows were doing a ton of damage, and now they're doing very little. So DeMu has to just buy time back up here. Interesting, he's going for a Vet Longbow at the Council Hall. Instead of trying to mass some crossbows right away, but that's probably fine. It'll be fast, right? Maybe crossbows are going to be rallied behind that to deal with these Men-at-Arms.
I mean, that upgrade alone is going to allow him to snipe out the remaining Men-at-Arms. Meanwhile, his MAA heading in. This is grim. RecoN. It's every time you look for hope, every time as a RecoN fan you may look for a way, something happens that makes you fall into despair, right? It's been RecoN scurrying around like a little trash panda, in your backyard, looking for any scraps you can find. But DeMu truly is the exterminator.
You gotta pick what KP. Is he a turtle or is he a panda? You can't keep doing
this
this.
is why he calls himself
you gotta be consistent for the
raccoon. Now, I told you this. He's a turtle raccoon. It's a special new breed.
That's not an animal. That's not real.
Yeah, what you try? What?
This is
next,
a historical
next, you're gonna say
game.
that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles aren't real.
Who's
Yeah. You don't want. Yeah, you don't want to take that bait, do you?
As the man-at-arms continue to idle this wood line here, at least deny it, as the longbows have kited all the way around the world and back. They're here again. Most of them still intact, although the man-at-arms did buy a lot of time. Fertile Crescent coming in for RecoN. Not sure what he's going to build with that. No stone, so no TC build right away. Maybe he'll buy the TC. And instead, he's just going to tap out. This game did not go his way. That man-at-arm opening really caught RecoN by surprise. We saw it when you're... I guess he had to be tilted from that moment in Dark Age when he had 199 gold, and he's like, "Are you telling me I really have to send another Vil out to this gold right now? Yeah. Another Vil to this gold?" And it like he probably just like, one of those. Just okay.
I can already the moment that happened, I already in my head I heard RecoN's like kind of signature laugh after going, "Oh no!" Like you could hear it, you could feel it. I mean,
yeah.
Like what? His first 15 villages, half of them, half HP. This was a brutal beatdown. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. It's very baity when DeMu plays a game like this because he's not doing an all-in timing, right? And it gives you this false hope that there's a way back. But RecoN will know this because he's played his fair share of English as well. Is in these type of games, even though you're hitting some sort of objective, the fact that DeMu had such a lead and didn't end the game means he's got something else behind this. And any time that he took a glimpse at DeMu's base, he wasn't comfortable. I mean, for a long time, he had 10 horsemen sitting outside of his base, but never once did he want to die because, as we know, English are one of the hard...
You have a more stable castle time behind it.
Absolutely.
Like, you can recoup the timing to castle, but have army as well, which, the sheep-only FCs, they hit a wall where you run out of sheep, and it was quite literally sheep only, and it's like, do I go to berries? If you don't have map control, you don't have the deer. So the TC secures the deer, which secures more food for the FC, which secures more food for the units you need to make once your castle. There's a lot of reasons, I think, behind it. Also, the meta has shifted a lot, right? TCs didn't used to be built nearly as much way back when these FC builds were started. So, things have just been shifting. Basically, every season, things adapt and things change. And I think it's in a pretty good spot right now. There's a decent, healthy mix between 1 TC, 2 TC. Sometimes you see 3 with certain civs, right? There's a lot of variability here. Because now we get to load in and look at the map.
Looking forward to seeing what DeMu can do here. We've said that the roost can be pretty effective, and he does open with, I believe, the hunt cabin into the trip scouts. All those deer are going to be packed in one location. In fact, he already ran one of his scouts out there. Reminder that DeMu is, of course, on match point. This is a best of 3. RecoN, definitely no pushover when it comes to HRE gameplay. I just want to see what his kind of play is going to be. If he tries to leverage a secondary TC, I'm going to be blunt on this. He has no good options.
Yeah, his TC would be way far forward here.
I mean, it's not even good, right? If you think about the game earlier today with Puppy Paw doing it, he done it on a deer patch near boar, right? Unfortunately for RecoN in this game, his deer spawned on the left side, not the right. They're nowhere near berries. They're nowhere near boar.
And DeMu's not going to mind a second TC forward here. He's got 2 really good spots for TCs. One is going to be on this hunt and the gold, and the other is going to be on a boar berry and some extra wood as well if he wants, just to kind of secure those 2 positions. We'll see if he ever gets up to that. We saw him play 3 TC earlier today, so it's potentially going to happen here. As we see, we can check the bounty is a little tight for DeMu right now, actually. He needs this wolf.
He should get it. There's no interception here. 215.
Only 215? No, it's a bit low. No, he'll get the
sorry.
click.
Yeah. But I meant for the tech up. Agreed. He's not gonna have the bounty, but it's nice to get the bounty. But I think people focus on that a lot. It really is just the optimal usage of the bounty to get wheelbarrow plus tech up without a gold mine. That's really what matters.
Yeah, but there's a huge difference. It feels so different if you get 100 extra bounty over this if he had 103
Oh,
gold
sure,
right
but
now, think about how
100's like,
different his game would feel.
yeah, yeah.
You could get the wood upgrade, or you could get an early night. Both of those are just so valuable that it feels really bad being like locked this low. But I think I hear
Definitely.
2 wolves going down to him right now, so that's going to be another 50 and a third wolf, so another
Oh,
75. Okay,
Jesus.
he's good. He's good. He's in the clear.
Yeah, and like to that
Very
point though,
comfortable.
right? It's like I agree, it gives you more options, but like the what I'm saying is a lot of people focus on if you have 250 bounties, like it's not 250, right? Like what I'm saying there is the
Yeah.
gathering rate is nice, but if you think about that, if like the amount of time it takes for you to see that big difference across a game, it doesn't matter as much as what you just said. Like an extra 100 gold versus the extra 35 for like. You almost feel like you take the 100 gold because it opens your options, right? Having that extra resource in the early game is disgusting. It's why, historically, Roos have had some of the fastest tech-up timings across every patch.
And look at that. He has 122 gold, so he can spend it however he wants. Maybe wood upgrade. Maybe just save that for the first night. Got a lot of gold. This is a good build here for DeMu. So definitely showcasing why he picked this civ on this map. He understood how to secure the hunt on the right or the left, sorry. And now maybe the boars.
He's going to do what he done earlier today with the Roos. Like that, someone got highlighted that Kremlin placement is very reminiscent of what he done in a previous series. Like this should be a multi-TC play. DeMu seems to just love this build. I think he's one of the most frequent multi-TC roosters in the game right now.
Yeah, no, and a lot of sheep for him as well. So multi-TC with all the sheep, it seems like. So we'll see how RecoN's base. Can we like try and check his sheep out? Or, this looks like this might be like the first drop off in a while for DeMu. So maybe
Check
this is just
his
a lot
sheep
of the
out.
map. Hey, check it. Oh,
Going a bit Welshy about it. Oh no, this. Oh, check the Arkham range.
Okay.
You're not gonna like this. You're gonna scream.
oh, it's just outside. He can't
Like
tag the other side.
it's
Yeah,
not
that's
even just. It's like it's a mile out. It feels like. So this is an awkward thing, and this is why early base planning is crucial as H3 player. If you know your Arkan's going to be here at the start of the game, you immediately want to rally your sheep to the side of the TC closer to the Arkan. This is something that players learned very early on, back in the Hill and Dale H3 meta days. It's just that fine-tuning ensures the gathering rate. Unfortunately, RecoN does not have that, and if you look at where he dropped the Arkan, like he's got no other food source there. Oh god. No, please, no.
He can't go here. There's gremlins. The scouts can deny the position next to the hunt, and so he's gonna have to go so much safer than he wanted to.
Get me out. Like this is I played a lot of H3 in my time, and this is like you feel lost at this stage, right? You're not gonna call GG, but it's grim tidings, right? Like you can go farms, sure, but one thing to highlight about the double TC H3 build is that you're meant to grab something that delays the farm transition, right? If you still have to do the farm transition anyway, you don't feel like you're ahead. You feel like you're very clearly behind.
Yeah, that's rough. And meanwhile, DeMu's going to get the perfect TC behind the gremlins. So just the gremlins alone, securing a good spot and denying your opponent's good spot. Like, I would say this Dark Age into early feudal has gone just wonderfully for DeMu. Again, his opening strats just seem to be on point. He seems to have an idea of how he wants to play this, and that's going to be 8 vills going out to the boar even. So the gremlin going to briefly tank on the boar. He's got scouts as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see a wooden fortress here. I think he stopped mining stone.
Yeah, and I mean this is something that I've kind of coached RecoN, talked to him about a lot. Is that he's known as a defensive player, known as a trader, these type of things, right? Like something I talked to him about is called gameplay variance, right? It's something that like people who play poker will especially be familiar with, right? It's like there's a way you're meant to play a hand, but every once in a while you play it different. And the whole logic behind that is by doing that, it means that people don't have a read on you. But if you're always a defensive player, you are going to lose, right? DeMu, he's seen this. He's played this 100 times. RecoN is very comfortable defending. And DeMu is very good at exploiting value out of that. Like, DeMu gets seen as this defensive player, but I don't see it that way. It's the same kind of logic with Beastie, where he said this as well, where people think that he wants the late game, but he doesn't. It's just if you're going to give him the late game with an advantage, he's going to take it. But if you mess up early or give him an opportunity to be the aggro player, he will take it, just like DeMu is doing here.
Yeah, just really smart reactive play is a nice way to like condense that whole statement, right? It's just really smart at reading the room and having the right response to things and taking those advantages as you get as they're given, right? And now we see the barracks coming down for RecoN, so maybe more reminiscent of a game that DeMu did not do well in when he had a Bassett against HRE. It was
so different.
A big all-in. Yeah, here he's going to feel much more comfortable, I think.
Yeah, I think Bruce handles that aggro better than I believe it was the Bastards in that game.
Yeah.
And you know, knights take just long to as camel archers to produce, but they're not as flimsy. The other thing is like just kind of like defend RecoN on what I'm saying here. It's not that I think like this game it's a bad play, but it's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because you're known as the defensive player and you're in a matchup against gremlins. So you are going to be the defender early on, right? There's no question about that. But it just sticks you in, I don't want to say an unwinnable position, but you almost feel like you're going to the game like 70-30 favorite.
Yeah, no, for sure. And just look at the ecotechs as well. Like, RecoN isn't even up Vils, and he's like, DeMu has had Wheelbarrow and Wood 1 for a very long time, right?
Yeah.
And so he's just now getting those. So like the accrued advantage here as well. And on top of that, DeMu didn't even need to tower his boar. Because there's just no threat from RecoN right now. Nothing. No horsemen, no nothing. So he's just now building a few spearmen, but that's not going to change the game state much.
RecoN might uncomfortably have to consider Burgrave, which you don't want to do if you've already started building Praxis, but like...
No.
I mean, but hear me out. The problem is if you just get Regnants here, like there's already Field Age Knights and there's Archers coming. So you're actually kind of counted on every phase. You're not going to pick up a Relic. Well, you get one in your base. Outside that, you won't pick up an additional Relic for probably the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes of Castle Age.
Oh, and the scout's going to go down.
Oh, dear God. What? He really wanted to get his opponents, but Tab can't get it.
The charge is coming, though.
Wait, did he
see
that?
Out?
Did he see the villages? That's crucial. He's going for a Wooden Fortress drop on the wood line by the looks of it. Oh, my God. If he gets this up, it's disgusting. It looks like RecoN did see it, so he's going to rush an outpost himself. That's going to be a blocker. Tech up is on the way. RecoN, only 4 people on the Regnants is quite the gamble right here.
I like the forward tower against HRE for one really specific reason. It makes it feel a lot harder to sneak prelates out to the sides when your opponent can just see them. Just seeing them alone makes it feel a lot more riskier to sending them. But also, like, the tower could kill them if they garrison, or like it feels like you get boxed in. And as HRE going into Castle Age, if you're boxed in, life gets hard. This is a good way of denying the Regnants play here. Although I'm kind of surprised. I felt like DeMu was really close to Castle a minute ago, or 2 minutes ago, but he's investing quite heavily here into this Feudal Age, so he might get caught off a little bit here, but I'm not seeing, like, look where all the relics are. There's only one,
that's it. Yeah.
I would say, in air quotes, guaranteed relic. Right?
And look where the scouts is. If we check vision for DeMu right now, there is not an, like, area around the base of RecoN that is not seen. There's no way you're getting out without him being tipped off.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
Just going to try and maybe sneak around the right or the left here. The spearman coming.
Will he react in time? If he insta-reacts to the ping, he should get away. It looks like it's a little bit too late. You need to pull south. Unable to get out of there. So that's going to hide a move for RecoN. But this doesn't feel good, right? Because even if you have one spot that isn't seen around your base, it's quite obvious you're going to go out of that spot, right? So DeMu will pivot there if he doesn't see any activity elsewhere.
Kind of crazy to only build the Regnants with 4 Vils. Right?
I'm surprised by this, man. Like,
he's sitting on 600 gold.
It's the stone.
Like, what's it doing for him now?
I think he was trying to gradually get what he needs for a castle. Like, now he'll finally pull the people, but he does at least get the upgrades in the outpost. That's going to delay things here. But the archers are just in on the farmlands, and you don't have any real defenses. Like, your farms can be idled out here. We have to remember, this game has been RecoN starved of food from start to finish. And now, where does he get food?
And the Regnants is barren right now. Like, nothing, no relics coming in whatsoever. And look at that, even so smart. DeMu sent a knight down to the relic on the south. So even what was potentially considered guaranteed now feels a lot harder to grab. Although DeMu is idling Vils for this whole pressure thing, right?
Sure, but like, he's getting value. If he gets his Wooden Fortress up on the deer, he can just like focus the army in the base, and meanwhile blocking out all food sources. He needs to be fast about this, though, because this diversion from the main base has burnt a lot of his time here, right? It's given space for RecoN.
Yeah, RecoN did just grab one of the relics in the middle. Looks like he snuck out the middle in an unexpected twist.
Where is...
But I don't know if he's going to get back. He's on the left there.
The spears are nowhere to be seen right now. This is so much idle time. I don't think DeMu's going to tack up. I think he's just going to all-in Field Age here. And I could see him winning at this rate. Like, RecoN is trying to get Knights out, but this is still a heavy amount of Knights to contest with.
Yeah, the archers are just under the TC, but if they take up the spearmen, the Knights will have free reign.
He's attacking the Knights. I mean, like, how long do you think it is that he can hold on under this pressure?
I mean, that's a lot of garrison arrows. That's a lot of damage coming out, but still no blacksmith. How often have we seen that in today, where one player is doing an all-in and the other player goes castle without a blacksmith? And do you see what I see? 16 gremlins marching down, ram coming down as well. This timing with the ram and the gremlins, it's going to be a little awkward.
I mean,
but
the timing is beautiful, man. Like, so the gremlins, you know, they're just going to absorb fire and cover any sort of counteroffensive. Like, look at what RecoN's doing, though. Like, this is your classic HRE. This feels like the thing we saw a year ago. When you arrive in Castle Age, what do? You build knights. You're already counted on knights, right? You're matched by the feudal knights. Now that the bar douchebags are here, or they're bar douches, right? The gremlins. This is just going to idle you out again. And this is all of RecoN's food. Like, the beautiful thing about what DeMu's done here is he only has to keep diving this area to prevent RecoN from playing the game.
Yeah, but RecoN did get 2 relics, so he is securing resources during this.
So you're going to have to buy food, right? Like,
purity idols, though.
This is the thing I'm looking at, right? It's like, you can buy food for a while, but do you feel like you're winning the game if you have to keep doing that with the HRE, if that's all you can do?
Does he press... If he's playing sharp, he presses emergency repairs very soon.
Oh, man. DeMu lost a lot of forces on that dive. He split too thin.
Yeah, he took arrow fire pretty bad.
Yeah. So the ram didn't even get through the outpost.
Yeah, I mean, he has the stone upgrade, so the hold is there, but DeMu's now up 10 vills, and he's got Castle Age just behind this, and his ram is still kind of alive, and the knights are still coming in the south here. This is a lot of idle time. This just doesn't feel good if you're RecoN, but I think he's holding.
It's kind of interesting. Like, I wonder if DeMu thought his army was going to last a bit longer, because it looked like he was saving for Castle Age while feigning an all-in, which is a cool idea. But now, instead, because he loses so many troops, he's trying to float this idea of, like, you know, I'm going Castle Age, but I'm still having an army. And it makes sense because, like, he needs to keep RecoN his base. The problem I do see with this is he's just massing knights. There's no spears in the mix. And as we now see, RecoN's comp is one-dimensional, right? It's just knights.
Yeah. So we're going to see the high trade house somewhere here, right? But
I mean, I've got a smile on my face watching this. Like, despite the fact RecoN knew that he was going to be the turtle, despite the fact that DeMu exploited it fantastically well, he reached that mass, man. Like, you said it yourself, there's just so many arrow fires coming in on those knights. Even with the upgrades, they willed away. They wilted and died.
Yeah. I've played that matchup enough to know that it's not fun diving HRE, especially once they have 1 or 2 Springald towers like that. Like, the TCs were stacked, so, like, it wasn't an ideal TC in terms of, like, getting resources controlled, but if you were under one TC, you're under the other TC. And so it was a lot of idle time, but basically his units became military for a short period.
Oh, no, he got blocked!
fought right into it.
That's his tech up!
Oh.
RecoN, you crafty demon. Gremlins are going to arrive. They're feudal, though. They're not that lethal here.
Yeah, and the gold in the middle could get pressured as well. A lot of production buildings are currently idled.
And
I wonder if he needs to just keep some units. He's diving again.
The ram shenanigans prove annoying. He lost the 4 villages. So RecoN is going to be able to break out. Now remember, DeMu is still not teched up. He's rushing it up with 18 now. But this means RecoN, with a Regnit's build, is about to go up to 3 relics. We could even see him grab a 4th at this rate.
Yeah, that's huge. The Gremlin's going to try and deny it, but not going to happen, I think. They're probably going to run out. Or they're going to get body blocked by their knights and die.
Oops. We're helping. Smiley face.
Yeah, we're helping. They, like, pushed him back.
No,
Get out of here,
I'm an eco unit. No, you fight. Stay with us.
Battle prelate.
It's like the
not like that.
It's the guy in the Knights Templar formation that just carries the banner. He's completely pointless, really, but you want him there for good morale. And well, now we're gonna see DeMu playing even more pocket ecos at a dangerous point. RecoN is taken a bit of a beat down in his own base, but he is gradually turning this around. Yes, he's still behind by 10 villages, but I implore you people to remember, this is Regnitz with 2 relics, slowly going to be free. On top of that, he's got farm clusters around the Archon. It's deceptive. DeMu might have a 10 villager lead, but his income is not ahead.
Yeah, exactly. If he gets enough relics in these towers, it becomes hard to raid, hard to pressure, hard to really do anything. And meanwhile, he's clearing out these Springald towers that DeMu just invested a lot of resources into upgrading these with, like, the Springalds, with the arrow slits, and they're just going to immediately die to these rams, which he can't protect against.
Crossbows in the play now.
Crossbows.
Knights are dragging them away. They got their own business to attend to. Oh, this is actually brilliant.
This isn't so bad.
Yeah. Like, RecoN's wasting time on archers. The crossbow mass is building in the meantime.
Yeah, if he gets up to 12 crossbow here, could start looking really dangerous for RecoN's numbers.
I actually love what DeMu's done as well. He's built passive walls to protect the berry patches. He's doing everything he can to dodge having to transition farms.
I mean, he has to, right?
I mean, it's a killer in this game, right? Like, RecoN's already started to break out. If you're in a game where RecoN's still in his base, you could transition farms because you were a step ahead. But right now, it's more even than that.
Some cute micros there, there as well from DeMu.
Crossbow's coming.
Keeping a... Yeah.
I mean, you need to run, right? Like, even if you clean up the knights, RecoN's going to end up losing more here. And oh, God, he got in formation with a rat.
Oh, that's funny.
I hate that crap so much. I wish there was just a button I could hold to stop them doing that.
And now a mangonel as well. So this farm transition has worked out really well for RecoN now. He's got loads of farms. He's got plenty of gold income. So he's getting himself more and more secured. I mean, if DeMu doesn't do damage with this push, if RecoN secures this, we're going to see a Swabia soon, right? Like he has to threaten RecoN enough to the point where RecoN has to invest in like another full army and castle. Because like Swabia's literally like 500 res away. Like,
do you
and then the game
Swabia
just snowballs.
here, though? Like, I mean, like you've still got some way on your eco, but like, would Els back in the center just win you the game? Is what I'm wondering.
I mean, maybe if gold's an issue, but gold isn't an issue for you because you have multiple relics.
Well, it's not an issue for you, but think about DeMu's comp. He needs gold, right? Knights, crossbows, like that's expensive. That's not easy to maintain. It could be reminiscent of the game we saw earlier today between DeMu and Zertin, where a keep drop in the center was the really notable detail that just gave control of the game across to what was originally the underdog.
Some nice Vil kills here as well.
DeMu's like, no, you guys keep working. That's fine. I'll send Tim and Bill back because I like Tim and Bill. They can get to live, but the rest of you can die. RecoN.
Look at the food eco for RecoN.
It's just insane.
2K food in the bank, baby.
I mean, look at
feeling
the
good.
He's gathering as well. There's a dive into that farming eco, though. Mangonel shots.
Ooh,
it's a Neo dodge,
crossbows.
which is a walk by. And the Knights are going to get free access here. Few swim and keep in the back, and hesitation from DeMu. He's not going to dive in for it. Aware that the repairs could come out. Won't be baited easily to his own death. Now he will go in. With this many Knights, you should be able to tap him down before the repairs come out. It's the second Mangonel, maybe. No, he's getting blocked. Knights are going to die.
Yeah, the Knights go down, only killing one Mangonel. The farms are getting rammed down instead of the outpost, which is very dangerous here.
I mean, you can't e-repair the farms, or you're not going to, right?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if you would do that on the very first push. Just go for the farms. It's usually a really good strat against HRE. They kind of quickly chop away the wood near the Aachen and replace it with farms. But if you kill those farms, they no longer have the Aachen wood income. But bam, down it goes. And like, what's going to be behind this for RecoN? Literally anything he wants.
How about keep drop? And this is the moment we talked about. DeMu beat him to the punchline. So although RecoN's looking pretty damn fair in this game, DeMu gets the central castle. He gets gold deposit control. RecoN, yes, he does have the relics, but if he's going to go into a heavy gold comp or he wants to look towards Imp into upgrades, he's going to need to find access to one of these veins.
This kind of reminds me a bit of the other game we saw DeMu play on this map against Zertin, right? Yeah. Where it looked kind of grim for him at times, but DeMu is still up 30 Vils, right? Like, that's not insignificant. You have only 3 relics, it says, or 2 and 1 on the way. So something went wrong with the relic delivery. Maybe,
that one has been on the way, it feels like, for 5 minutes
for like
at this
ever,
stage.
Yeah. Maybe it was just moving between buildings or something. But yeah, like, it feels rough here for RecoN.
I mean, this is the thing that I was looking towards. That's why I mentioned maybe an Owl's back. Like, obviously you needed more villages, but like, you just need to take control of the center. He's desperately trying to do it now. DeMu coming in with a repair crew to keep it alive longer. Spoon upgrades coming through, and he actually neglects the back line again. Mangonel's going to be pushed back. Knights will be able to claim one of them, keep the others idled up. In fact, he might be able to switch over to Trevis quick. Castle's going to survive. Crossbows are going to clean up the backside, and RecoN is going to be held.
Yeah, DeMu's going to be able to hold this position. Now has a critical Springald, which is going to be really important because there's a lot of siege weapons on the field here for RecoN, and the night dives just aren't working anymore. They're just all, he's losing all of his units, and he's got to watch his units. It's a lot of melee units running at him. The Springald's going to go down unless he gets some crazy repairs.
It takes so long to kill it though, right? These are just spearmen. The horseman mass was cleaned up. So even if he gets the Springald, it's going to cost him the army. Counter-trap's coming out on the other side. I do believe that RecoN has not chained in his own castle, so it doesn't have E-repairs. But he is at least going to remove the threat from DeMu. Castle is going to drop. Or is it? Villages? They're inside.
He could pop out to repair, but doesn't. Chooses not to repair anymore because now he's got the position more secured, though. He's going to slowly bring down this keep. If he gets 2 more units, like RecoN just invested a lot of army into that, right? He's down to 18 units against 42 of DeMu. Oh man, this feels rough. All of his units are going into a ram. We're going to have a Pinata surprise.
It's the clown car. Clown car strat. I know it's missed in the
out.
chat. It's kind of thin. It seems it was a mistake. He didn't want him in there.
He's actually really... What?
I was going to say he wanted the gremlins in there, but you guys stopped him from doing that.
There's actually a really scary trick you can do with HRE where you put land sharks in the clown car.
Oh,
and when they go to surround, like just the way that they pop out is all on one tile. Like not tile, that's AV2, but like all on one like point, right? And so all the land sharks swing in unison. And it's basically like 3 mangonels all in this one little area, and it's really crazy to see that, but that's irrelevant. Not relevant right now as we see another engagement happening on this keep. So DeMu's going to try his luck again, but I don't know if this is going to work. The mangonel's going to get sniped quickly, though. Not before taking a shot on the Vills.
I mean, it's only one shot, though. His army's distracted. Rams are moving in. They are not being addressed. Springles are trying to do it now. They're so bloody tanky. The castle's going to go up, but it's barely going to feel like it's up. Probably a 3rd HP if that. Treb's also still hitting into it. Crossbows are going to hold for the moment, but enough horsemen in it to break through them. More villages are going to be pulled. Meanwhile, on the backside, it looks like there's a raid coming in from DeMu to distract a few of the troops, but it just feels like raw melee units are getting in, and the castle... It's so expensive to even keep this up right now. I mean, is it even worth it at this stage?
The position on the map is way too important to give up. The Springalds finally killed the last ram. He can definitely out-repair this Trebuchet. The Mangonel coming forward to hit the crossbows, but there's 2 Springalds in position. If DeMu's paying attention, he should be able to cover it. He does now notice, gets the shots. Not after a big shot from the Mangonel, though. Oh my gosh, the Vills are just going down like flies.
He's out of
that big Vill?
He's out of stone,
that's it. HP.
I mean, like, he's going to eventually lose that keep. It's just a matter of, was it worth it? Did you get enough out of RecoN in the meantime? I'm looking at... Really? Because I'm looking at the food income and I'm not sure.
I guess DeMu never made the farm transition behind this. Even though it's got 3,000 wood in the bank, the micro's just been too demanding. And now maybe just needs to do a full siege play. With archers maybe is what he can afford. I don't know.
I mean, this is the thing though, right? Like now you need more castles more than ever because if you can't afford food and you need good gold wood, you need this gold in the center. It just feels like RecoN. I'm not going to call it a brain-dead strat, but it looks that, right? Just spam horsemen and spearmen and win the game. It truly does feel that way for him right now.
The Rams are going to get this keep, though, I think. One more shot, I think, kills it.
He never chained it in, right? So no emergency repairs. He could actually still chain it in and just use the E-repairs here. In fact, it might already be connected.
More repairs coming in.
It's just out of range, right? Yeah. It has to be just out of range.
2 more Rams come in again, but there's a lot of horsemen here. Yeah, the horsemen seem hard to stop right now.
They're ridiculous.
They're really good against the siege and crossbow play, and there's not enough knights to really push back a horseman mass when they're supported by spears. And the siege war continues. Looks like the keep will finally go down here. DeMu, sorry, going to be very happy about.
Is it going down?
The Treb shot's coming in. Doink.
There's no way.
Big doink.
Come on.
Big doink.
Like, this is breaking my heart because I know RecoN's going to look back at this game and be like, oh yeah, emergency repairs. Like, emergency repairs.
Where's the doink?
Wait, it's attacking the mining camp.
It's hitting the mining camp.
It's missing the mining camp.
Oh, no.
I mean, clearly someone let their toddler man that trebuchet. That's all I'm going to say right now. It looks like it's back on target, but...
Oh, he missed again. Oh man, meanwhile, the line of crossbows trying to hold. Once again, the spearmen just kind of running into their death. So these fights have been really efficient trades for DeMu.
Wait. Is it on auto attack? I think it's trying to attack the villages.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it's hitting.
Hey, bada. Hey, bada. Okay, we hit.
Oh, there he goes. Finally hit. Oh, he's
It's
like
the
attack
stealth
running in the fog.
forest. Oh man, that's so painful for DeMu. Poor guy. And
The berries are almost out. Does he have any farms, DeMu?
I think he's set up 2 clusters so far.
A couple. Yeah. He's got some food income now. Yeah.
Yeah. So some sustainability there. Things starting to slow down again. DeMu still has that eco lead, right? But like there is a worry that if this stalemates, it's because like villagers on the front line for one side, less so for the other. It feels like, right? Probably also RecoN has been burning a lot on horsemen, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's missed villager production in his TCs.
Also, yeah, it looks like there were even some raids. Yeah, 49 vill kills. We saw a couple raids during all that shenanigans with the siege war. Maybe they were more effective than we realized. I guess also RecoN doesn't have access to any gold, right? He's completely reliant on relics right now.
He actually has 1 gold vein just south of that keep that he can't touch because I think DeMu built a new wooden fortress there.
Oh, siege. Gonna get picked off here. 4 springolds.
This is not a big army
has to make a choice
from DeMu to defend with, by the way. Like
he's hitting that food wall hard.
Horseman charging in.
Here we have the fight.
Nice, trying to body block, but he realizes there's too many here. The Mangonel's gonna be thrown away. Spring trade out will begin. Heals a few off to go after the eco. In the meantime, it just brute forces the front line. And remember, this is primarily crossbowmen from DeMu. Not something that can hold its back against the spearmen and horsemen comp. He's gonna give over ground.
Fighting under boiling oil, though. DeMu did finish that tech, so a couple of big shots here could be huge. It does kind of miss on the south side of that keep, as now the horsemen and the springolds pushing forward, the spearmen supporting.
Backup keep being rushed.
Another keep going up in the back, but the first keep is going down. DeMu needs access to this gold. RecoN could play longer without it. His composition is working without the gold. It'll continue to work without the gold, but DeMu is 30 gold in the bank. He needs this keep.
It's everything to him. He's desperate. He's even got gremlins trying to help out. Keep's going to go up. Bull and all is going to be activated. But remember, folks, behind this RecoN, he had plenty of wood to work with. He's going to invest in the ramps. It seems cheeky, cheesy, and cheap, but so simple and effective for RecoN. Food and wood makes the world go around. It's not often you say that about the HRE.
Yeah, this has been playing out pretty well for him. Still with the villager deficit, but just the better army comp. Similar upgrades overall. Like, it's just working better for him. The crossbow just don't feel like they're doing anything here anymore.
No, I just felt that way for quite some time. Like, it makes
I wonder if you should go archer. I don't know.
But it's like, yeah, that's what was one of my thoughts. It's like, but he's spending all his wood transitioning farms, right? I think that's been the big issue here. It feels like RecoN done a good job of bogging down this mid grudge match, this slug, if you will. And maybe DeMu wanted to put more attention on transitioning farms sooner. And this is just kind of the result of that, right? You could even go earlier on in this game, I think. Like, I think that the critical point for me was when DeMu was on top of the farms and he kind of dove past the other side of the base, right? He delayed his pressure. He gave kind of a recovery point. And when he came in again, RecoN had all these static defenses, which has truly been the element of this game that mattered most for RecoN.
And DeMu just picking up the sacred sets off the back of that.
Backup plan.
Not a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he keeps trading, but these are knights and crossbows fighting against spearmen, horsemen. It's very cost effective for RecoN, who's now gotten a Vil advantage. He's at 170 pop to 124.
I mean, this
KP,
is.
I gotta say,
Go ahead.
this map,
You like
really
it?
cool.
It's a spicy
Really
meatball,
cool.
right? It came down to the
It's a
center.
spicy meatball.
It's a big one. You don't feel like you can bite it in one go. And that really is a good metaphor for these games, because it's not over in one swoop, right? We thought it was going to be for DeMu. Then it swings and roundabouts. RecoN bounces back in. DeMu getting central control, looking like he can close it out. All of a sudden, RecoN finds a way to part with a cheap comp. And now this is looking like game. I don't know what DeMu does from here. He dies. That's the
Yeah,
spoiler.
he dies. He dies. Like, the siege just isn't working anymore. He's lost the Springald War, and ReCon's popped. So it's just a matter of killing this final keep, and the game will feel very over for if you're in DeMu's shoes.
These rams are annoying because DeMu wants to A-click into the fight, And it means he gets body blocked out by the Rams. He can't even fight efficiently. He can't win this game. What a hold from RecoN. The Turtle Raccoon takes game number 2. It looks like it's a day of 3-game series.
Wow. Game 3 on the way, baby. Let's go. This has been pretty fire. I mean, that was a nice game we just watched. A lot of back and forth action. The contest over the middle is spread out enough where it's not like it's just one 8K or all 3 8Ks are on like the same exact screen. And it's like one, like kind of, you can get the situation where both players are kind of contesting the middle together. And I really love that tension. And we saw a lot of combat over that. Siege War kind of slowed down at times, but RecoN kept it exciting. That horseman switch seemed clutch. It felt like if he had kept going Man at Arms or Knights or anything else, the crossbow Knight comp for DeMu would have just been too good. But because he was able to get a really favorable matchup that he could afford long term without the gold, it just meant all that gold went into catching up on techs. He was behind for a bit there, catching up on techs, catching up on eco, adding in more important siege weapons. Like, it felt like he always had more mangonels, always had more, like, not always had more springalds, but he got over that hump and then it had more springalds. Like, just really nice stuff from him. It was really clean from RecoN. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Yeah, I think we both got baited alongside DeMu when he had such great control in the other game, right? And it feels like, you mentioned it, but like, I was a little bit remiss to give it over to it. Same with DeMu. The damage that these static emplacements were doing, those dives became more and more problematic. And it's like, it's the fault.
98% of your company.
And you should be damn grateful of that. I'm going to make you a
millionaire. And for that reason, I'm out. All right, we're all caught up. We're back to where we were. So I love Shark Tank memes. It's kind of like a pastime of mine. So don't invoke this. You don't want this.
All right, let's talk about the equities in this game, because that's a heavy investment early on. RecoN already entering turtle mode. He's going to wall up. The crazy part is, this wood could have went towards a quicker tech up timing for the Song Dynasty, but no, he feels threatened already. As for good reason. DeMu is on his way with the first Knight.
Yeah, but the Barbican's in such a good spot. Like, what could you really do with this Knight?
Look at his scout is so low.
He's gonna lose the scout for this. He's trying to keep it open for the Knight, which is trying to loop around. The Knight was trying to loop around, and actually that was clutch from RecoN to actually secure that wall. Bringing the second and third Vil was very important here, and a nice little cheeky mining camp grabbing both resources always feels good. I mean, you're French. It's saving 25 wood and probably losing you 25 stone over the course of the minutes here, but
now
it feels good nonetheless.
No, Winston. I don't want to hear that. All right, I've come full circle. I've cast a lot of Bronze League Legends. They do this exact type of mining camp as well, and they have been proven right now. DeMu doing it means that it's okay, and all you people that are like plat or diamonds, you're just playing the game wrong.
I think it's just like if it's one tile away. And you're getting 2 resources. If there's 3 tiles between the 2 resources, I think it's totally fine. I think when there's 4, I start to question it a lot more.
I think it's if you're doing like 1 TC extra. But if you were doing 2 TCs, you should drop a mining camp, right? Because it's 25 wood. But yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Well, DeMu's in for free.
But like nothing to do.
Nothing to do.
Like, nothing to do. Nothing to see, man. He doesn't have any no Vil kills so far.
Okay, so now you get to play the blind game. If you check DeMu's vision, he sees about as much as me when I take my glasses off. He sees about as much as he sees when he takes his glasses off, because...
Yeah, but it's got the school of Cav. You can just pop up a bad boy in there.
He won't.
You think he won't train another scout?
I've watched so many pro games of French players by now, and I'm still... Like, they just don't want to do it, man. But DeMu is different. He's built different, okay? He came out with the shiniest head in the hospital. He has the shiniest brain still within that shiny head all these years later. He will replace the scout.
Why do you gotta bring up his hair?
Because he's got a fantastic hairline. I don't think...
Why you gotta do that?
What do you mean why you gotta do that? Like, some people wear bald well. That's what I'm saying.
He does. He
wears bald well.
Well, let's see.
It,
The TC's going up similar times, but no song, notably, right? You mentioned this before, but that song? What do you do with it?
Oh, sometimes I get it.
Not sing, not sing, not sing.
Oh, not
Song.
that type of song. Got it, got it. Song Dynasty,
The
yeah.
Dynasty. The
Yes.
Dynasty.
Dynasty. I mean, he could still go back for it afterwards. I think getting like the second TC gives him an extra defense point is probably the thought here. Whereas in Imperial Academy, I mean, how does that help you defend? You throw taxmen at the Raiders?
IOs do not make good shields for charges.
They make good distractions though, you know?
A third TC from DeMu is kind of spicy here. Especially when RecoN's not even on song yet. Like, that's... I know we said that like 3 times now, but it's important to note, like, DeMu already is going to be having the faster build production, right? With the French and 2TC against just normal Civ 2TC. But going up to a third TC is going to get nuts.
No.
And he has the scout because he's a pro player who likes to rebuild his scout if he loses it on accident because he's a pro player, KP. So he has that.
Nah, man, that's 70 food I'm not willing to invest. I mean, that's a slow cost.
Are we talking about your play or his? Because he's clearly going to get rewarded for that scout. He saw the spearman in the fog. Like, you need it on this map. You can't. Maybe on Arabia, I could see your point. Maybe on a map where there's like very limited stealth.
I don't want to hear it, Winston. Like, you're a pro player. You should be able to feel the map. Sense the danger. All right? How can you be the chosen one? Nah, I agree. Like, he replaced the scout was good. And this is playing out how I predicted in the pregame, right? I said that, like, he would just basically do the same build he'd done against Certain, but it's better here because Rus don't have a faster production time. French do. And just like in that game, what does he do? He builds the third TC hidden away, somewhere where RecoN is never going to look. Maybe he sees it because he hasn't got Song Dynasty, but it's on the way, so even less likely he's ever going to scout this out.
Yeah, I mean, the wall kind of gives it away, and even more beautiful about that TC, it's securing the second deer, but also that boar in the corner. Can we actually check DeMu's vision here while we're in this, like, lull? Can we check the player's vision? What are they scouted here, if possible, just to see? So, yeah, DeMu knows where both boars are. That's going to be clutch for him, because I think he's going to have map control leading into, like, the late feudal into early castle here. Yeah, both players spotted it all. Okay. As the spearmen aren't going to be really offensive for a while here. Still no... Oh, we do see 2 ranges now. So the Zhugnu Mass could start, but RecoN opting not to strain them yet. He's just waiting. No need to all in if your opponent is not gaming, you know?
Yeah, like his timing just feels off there, right? Like it's not on him. It's just the way that DeMu's played this. It's like feigned aggression, and now he sees the reaction. Interesting enough, DeMu is now reacting, but he done so on a delay. Like what I'm trying to allude to is that in an ideal world, RecoN has been able to like position some sort of threat or pinch some extra knights so that DeMu has to build them instead of an extra TC. Instead, this is just a replica. Like honestly, DeMu is more or less copied and pasted his build from the Zertim versus DeMu game where he done 3 TCs.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be quite smart here. So yeah, Knight Archer, kind of the classic French combo. It's going to feel good if he gets to vet Archer against the Zhugnu before the Zhugnu mass is huge and before the Zhugnu have their good numbers and the good techs. Like as long as DeMu can keep up the pace here, I think he'll be fine. He's up 6 vills now. And that's going to keep growing. Now I say that now it's up 7. Wow, look at me. Look at that. Look at it go. Values are getting high and pretty soon.
You want to stop?
Yeah, you want me to give him the count?
You got it, man. I'm feeling it. Oh, dude, it's not growing. It's shrinking. Oh, disgusting. Get out of here. DeMu wishing he was
gonna have to deal with a wolf. Probably actually. He likes Rus. Ooh, did he get a vill kill there? Yeah, finally we saw blood. Yeah.
1 HP knight. He's still alive after that.
I mean, he could send that home and heal it up later.
Give him a pat on the back. Say come back later. And look at RecoN. The paranoia. He walls himself into a corner. Don't build a gate. No. Don't let them out. They're there forever now.
Secures the deer, though, in a really nice way for him. And already setting up his base for that first keep in Castle Age. And we're going to see the Castle Ages very soon. It looks like RecoN's going to have the lead there. But no army to speak of. So not going to really be able to push out right away. Especially when there's 9 knights on the field. That's actually quite terrifying. Well, 8 if you count the guy with 1 leg.
Hey, he's still... Whoa, no. All right, Timmy is a veteran of 30 years in the army. In the medieval time, okay? You do not say that about him, okay? He's irreplaceable. Like, literally, no one else lives to that age in this time.
Irreplaceable. I mean, He's gonna need to be replaceable pretty soon. He literally had 1 HP. We'll see though. He might be just hiding in a TC somewhere.
So RecoN done that thing where he didn't do the thing that they all do.
Oh
No trigger
my
nuke.
god.
And he also done the thing with the wall. So
Oh my god.
death to taxes, death to the oligarch, death to the rich people, and possibly death to RecoN.
If those 5 archers can survive back into the corner, this might be okay, but actually he might be just losing his knights.
No, I think RecoN is going to lose more spears. He has to run.
Oh, and another 3 archers show up, so another 7 in this back corner. And the deer, not the deer, but the sheeps are all going to get denied. The spearmen are off doing who knows what, trying to deal with the archers as the knights dive under the TCs here.
God.
No barbican in sight. The vills going down on the gold mine, but there's several spearmen here to defend.
But DeMu's teching up. DeMu's teching up with almost a 20 villager lead, and it's Royal Institute. This is just the beginning. A tidal wave is coming, and even if RecoN now masses out on Palace Guard, he's going to be facing off against veteran Royal Knights with Royal Bloodlines in the next few minutes.
And he didn't even win this fight under his TC. He's still getting idled. He's going to go down here. Like, this is a GG moment, right?
It's like 7 villagers dead, right? Like, he's not going to GG yet because he's still got the food source to get the Palace Guard out. But there is no denying the fact that this is just the beginning of what's going to feel like the zombie apocalypse, right? RecoN is now playing a tower defense game.
Look at the walls from DeMu. He said, oh, you want a wall in your little north corner? I'm going to take half of the map with palisades. That's expensive, man. That is not a cheap endeavor, but it'll work really well, especially against this palace guard spam. It'll just give DeMu that little warning. Where are they coming from? Because the problem with the palace guard spam is if they flood in from all angles, like night defense against it is really hard. But if it's like coming through this little funnel, it's very easy for knights to just pick off the palace guards, even when they're still in feudal age. But they're not, right? It's vet. Vet knights are on the field already. I'm not sure, actually. And he doesn't have many to upgrade. So
yeah, they're upgraded.
He's gotten it.
He already got the veteran seat. I mean, you just always get it, right? Like, even if you only want to.
It's so cheap.
It's the Royal Bloodlines you don't rush. That's going to come in probably around 15 to 20 of the knights. I'd expect him to get that. But by the way, that that gap, that slight vulnerability in the Death Star, it's still there. So RecoN. the impenetrable
This is the
base.
second Death Star. This is the second Death Star though. That gets blown up before it even gets finished, right?
Yes. It's weird actually because his first Death Star was game number 2, but that one actually worked out. Luke never shoot up, but this time around, Luke and his sister, with full force powers, are ready to fight back.
I also love how DeMu walled. Look how he carefully snaked it in front of the relics. So he's gonna secure 4 relics to 1 at this game, unless something crazy happens. He's already picking up 3 now. So just 1 left to secure on that far right, and it's not like RecoN's any closer to picking that up. As now we see textiles coming in, better late than never. But they keep coming down for DeMu. Ooh, his macro is hot right now.
And like because he has so much resource. And he can't produce enough knights yet, he actually goes for Royal Bloodlines already. This is very early to do this. Typically, we see it around like bare minimum double digits is when people think about it because they want the mass. But it seems confident he'll get there either way. Arbor Trio also being prepped. RecoN has one hope, one savior. It is the main cannon of the Death Star. It is the nest of bees. It is the only way that he survives the coming storm.
Yeah, DeMu just had such good micro against the nest of bees earlier against Zerton, right? So we're going to see how RecoN handles it. Maybe his micro will be a little bit cleaner in terms of the defense. So we'll see. Got to keep them protected. He's already got 1 on the field and a 2nd on the way, which is really good for him. If he can get, like you said, up to a mass of them, like 4, you can start to be pretty scary. But I don't know. Royal Bloodlines is on the field soon.
Yeah.
I think even Horsemen are coming for... That something's coming.
Yeah, and like this is the crim part for RecoN. Like even if he got Pass Guard together, he couldn't have like counter raid, right? The Great Wall of Frenchna has made sure that can never happen. So the only way I see RecoN now winning this game is if we somehow get to 30 minutes in his Imperial Age.
It feels really good when you're clicking all the Royal Institute texts and not dying for it.
You just hit your face against the keyboard, right?
Like, this is a luxury tech and a half, right? It's like 5% more discount on your units. Like, it's really good to get. It's just like being able to click it in this position is just so good. He's at 40 vills, man.
I mean, I would love to see DeMu's newest build order on this. I'm pretty sure somewhere in the video he just says, okay, now at this stage you just want to select the buildings and then hit every key on your keyboard.
You hold down W, and it makes army.
No. We're talking the text here. You just smash your face against the keyboard, drag it across
Oh,
as you select all the buildings, and
yeah.
you win about 5 minutes later.
It's like Delhi. You're just playing the piano.
Oh, we're getting laced with this cake, by the way. It's a double cream sponge cake. He's adding stone walls now.
Yeah, really spicy choice, but I love it. Just still trying to funnel RecoN into a space where he doesn't really have the units yet to fight. Although, we'll see. We see a little bit of a scuffle in the middle. The keep coming down. DeMu's played this really slow, so he had that advantage. He got that really big pickup, and now he's just kind of sitting back and relaxing. He's now scouting for some damage with the knights on the right, but this has given RecoN time to secure the keep, and China has a scary late game. Like, the opening has been really good for DeMu, but this late game could be terrifying. That's a hole.
That's many holes, all right? If this was a bucket right now, you wouldn't get like 1/5 full.
Oh, is that not open?
Wait, what?
I think it is. Is this just another time where the players just don't care?
Like, you need to be careful. This is
That's
like
a hole.
starting to sound
That's
like the
open.
arrogance of a dev. Like, no, that definitely works.
No, that's definitely a hole.
That's a hole up there. That is definitely a hole.
That's a lot of dead vills potentially.
I mean, where do you
The
run
granaries
here?
are in the back too. He's chopping the way to the granaries.
This is the situation where your family's going to be murdered by a bunch of wolves, so you just kind of throw the kids in first and run, you know? I mean, you're all going to die, so you can at least run faster. Oh my god.
Don't even know if that's...
Please. Please. This is no.
But a fight
Come
over the keep
with
here.
me and you'll be
And you'll see.
in a world of your nightmares. This is a nightmare right now for RecoN.
Spelt with a K.
Truly. I mean, the numbers aren't going to slow down. He's keeping double digits. He's getting more aggressive keep positionings. It's just... What do you do from here as RecoN? The 50 spears were not enough to stop the knights. What is the solution?
Yeah, I mean, that was painful. DeMu did lose he didn't lose any vills, but 26 vills now for RecoN have died in this game, and 27, sorry, it's going up. The number is going up. And now here's DeMu with another keep in the center.
You know
so
what?
kind of standing off against the keep of RecoN, and we should see Siege pretty soon, right?
Well, let's have a fun mini game here. What number is higher? The amount of holes in RecoN's defenses or the amount of workers killed in this game?
Well,
It's close, right?
it's tricky because you can't really compare with like Infinity. Oh!
It's okay. Roll
Ooh.
bloodlines, roll bloodlines, roll bloodlines, roll bloodlines. Okay, if you just chant it enough, it works. Nesta Beast is going to die. No. Oh, he pulls it back. Hey, look. Granaries. I mean, this makes sense from RecoN. I totally agree with this. You know, the walls weren't protecting the granaries, so you might as well just build them outside your base, right?
It's really sad when that happens and you're in China's position here where the granaries stack, right? So having to build them not all together is just like, it actually really hurts. But RecoN is looking like he could place, like, I don't know, maybe the Great Wall Gatehouse to defend his base. Oh, there it is.
They're going to hit Imperial about the same time, actually. Look at DeMu's resources. And by the way,
DeMu could have gone in a while ago. But
yeah, but like, also, this is the crazy part. He's only now getting Military Academy. Like, this kind of explains a lot. Imagine how big his army could have been otherwise. Instead, Knight's going to be thrown away. But Red Palace is on the way. Looks like he's
on the left, pretty defensive.
Yeah, that's surprising to me. I thought he might try to do it on the central sacred site while these Knights distract.
I mean, you got to get ready for the Chinese late game, right? Like, you did good damage. You have the advantage. Just don't die to some bull, right? To some BS, right? Just play slow, stonewall up the map, get keeps up, get your production buildings going, get your techs. That's what he has to play for now. It's going to be really tricky because this is where China kind of becomes its scariest once those granaries are clocked in and rolling. So what do you think? What do you think RecoN's like plan of attack is? Like, does he just go?
I actually think he's going to slow crawl keeps towards his enemy's base. I've seen this guy. I know what he likes to do. Like, I seriously, if he was playing French on this in the situation, like, he would be keep crawling right now with Siege. I think he's going to create choke points to utilize with Spearmen and mass Nesta Bees and just slowly push in. And keep in mind, because DeMu went for the red keep, he doesn't have access to Coverance. So he doesn't have a solid counter to Nesta Bee mass.
Yeah, and he's just now clicking boiling oil, so the spearman could actually run in and just torch this, but that's a lot of ranged units as well, so
A lot of
RecoN
range
has
units to
to
die.
back.
STBs. Just like this is what makes this unit so stupid. The flurry of attacks. Even when you feel like you've dodged or ran away, compared to a Maganel, there is no successful retreat. It's so much space.
Yeah, I mean, what do you need here if you're DeMu? Like, I would say like a Ribald or two, maybe? But I don't know. No one likes to make Ribalds.
It's just like, honestly, it's the fact he doesn't have Coverance. It's the biggest problem I see here. Like, there's no good solution to STBs unless RecoN just leaves them unattended.
I mean, he just has to go Springholes, right? You can make enough. It's just a lot of... It's very not pop efficient, right? But you can make enough to kill off the Nest Bees. At least force RecoN into his own Springholds, which also aren't, like, super strong. And then suddenly a lot of the pop... Then pop efficiency matters even more. Like, in this matchup, the more siege there is, China's favored because their siege is better, right? But the more siege there is, French is favored as well because their units are much more pop efficient, right? Like, those knights are just like... If you can only have 20 units, you'd rather have 20 knights rather than 20 spears, right? So we'll see how that plays out here, because that's a lot of spearmen.
Yeah. This is a toxic number of spearmen. Like, I just want to start singing Britney Spears songs at this point. He's a big fan, clearly. RecoN holds the front line. Nest of Bees. Need to open fire. Spearman count.
I think RecoN's dead.
I'm pretty sure he can't defend these anymore. Like, the Knight's just going to wrap around. DeMu
RecoN's dead.
patiently waits his time. RecoN, he's going to lose the entire army. And behind this, his wood does not look good. In fact, I'd refund that outpost and spend it elsewhere, son, because this is not going to work.
His fight turned out better than I thought. He got a decent engagement in with those spearmen, but
Look at the wood,
DeMu
though.
takes everything down.
I'm just looking at the mid-map here. Like, he's got a keep that you can wrap around behind. Like, after that, I think RecoN doesn't have any safe wood anymore, other than straggler trees. This is a problem.
That was a huge mass he was building up to, right? Like, that took so long to get those 5 Bs out. That was spearmen he'd been massing since Feudal Age. Literally, he started building spearmen in Feudal Age to get to that huge army, and now he can kind of quickly remax, right? He's got 40 spears on the field already, but I think killing that Death Maul was like all DeMu needed. I think he's gonna run away with the game now because there's just too much. He has too much economy behind this.
I think RecoN needs to drop some of these stone walls as well as keeps to get new wood lines. Like, that's the thing I'm looking at. These walls that were set up by DeMu ages ago gives him late game wood advantage. That is huge here when you consider that RecoN is relying wholly on spears and Nest of Bees. And he hasn't flipped the script. He hasn't changed it up so far. I doubt he's ever gonna.
He doesn't have access to gold, right? He's got a small gold mine in the very north of the map, but both the AKs are on the right side of the map where DeMu has firm control. He built a keep there much earlier. He's going to be very comfortable going in. So pretty soon RecoN's going to be reliant on just taxes for income as those vills go idle in the north soon.
We have walls. We have walls, Winston. It's not happening today, right?
Well, into the Great Wall Gatehouse as well, so that's not a happy place to go with all those knights. Wait.
So
oh, there it is. There it is.
Okay, that was good because we were about to do an impromptu dev talk. If that didn't work.
No. No.
Now, keep in mind, if DeMu keeps running troops in and out of range of that Great Wall Gatehouse, probably at some point it's going to stop firing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, though, the keep for RecoN slowly getting whittled down, and that's going to open up the floodgates for this mass here. Look at DeMu's economy, man. He's just got so many resources.
Yeah, I feel like
comfortably popped. Although RecoN's caught up again, once again.
True.
60 spears.
Well, I'm looking at the map. Like, this is the thing. Like, I know Chinese are very strong late game. French kind of like pit her off in a lot of people's eyes, but like, I think you have to be snorting Chinese opium to not see the problem RecoN has here. He has like a sixth, an eighth of the map.
Yeah, and China's really good even in small positions like this because of the tax mechanic, but it still has limits.
Exactly.
Well, even taxes have limits, right? Like, he's currently alive because he's only making spearmen, but Like, look at the army here. Like, every time he keeps making spearmen, they just keep dying. And it's just a matter of time until the siege finally does its job here. I feel like these trebs have been missing or something, or the repairs have been really good.
He might be attacking ground, right? Like, we saw that in the second game as well, where the Stealth Forest screwed up his attack.
Oh, and DeMu's planning something special. Look at this. 3 cannons in the queue, as well as the new tech ram for build speed and damage. So, or attack speed, sorry. So the ram tech coming in, cannons coming in. So the siege is about to get upgraded. So if RecoN can't win this fight decisively, things are going to start feeling bad for him.
Back towards the keep for safety. RecoN is going to buffer his opponent away with the cheap army. He won't be able to easily go beyond this threshold.
This is not a good fight for RecoN.
I mean,
this is not a good fight for RecoN.
And honestly, like, it's like this fight is like looking at the competitive history of earnings, right? DeMu at this point is just able to put it all on the card. It's just, I'm watching RecoN's numbers, and it's crazy to see the French have a clear and dominant eco lead, even at this late game phase with those incomes.
I mean, 4 relics and the 8Ks on the right side of the map just means he has access to gold.
And no trade.
Somehow RecoN has a lot of gold income. I guess he has another 4K that I missed on the minimap. I think it's over there on the right side.
It's between these 2 tree lines, yeah. Like, he's got about 20 people on it right now. That's
a lot of ills to the left of this one. Yeah, it's...
He's up a keep. Oh, God, this is... I mean, I think this is the point where you just take estimates on how long until RecoN GG's. I don't think that's an unfair thing to say, right? Like, this is... He's got hand cannoneers, he's got 3K surplus, but... I mean, you're seeing hand cannoneers from DeMu. He can afford it 4 times over.
If he gets to the hand cannon mass, things change, right? Like, a lot of the reason I haven't been liking RecoN's position is he's relying on, like, 60 spearmen. Like, that just doesn't work long term. Against knights, like in a very like comfortable way. Like it's good to have like 30 and 30 hand cannons or something, right? But we'll see. Also, RecoN not really able to use the palace guards this game, which have been in the past like couple of months like kind of the bread and butter of the Chinese late game in a lot of ways, right? So we'll see. As not able to leverage the strengths of Chinese here, just kind of spamming spearmen, which like they don't really have any bonus for. Like they're just not doing their best stuff right now.
No, the big problem is, like, it counters the Knight raids, but it doesn't kill Knights necessarily. Like, if DeMu wants to micro it, he can just run you around circles your base, and while you're chasing him with your main army, this siege is slowly pushing your front line back. That's the notable thing here. Not only that, DeMu is setting up forward bases. You just saw that keep with the stables around it. So he's able to double down at a much more aggressive pace than RecoN's able to match.
I think it's almost been a problem for DeMu how well the fights have been going for him, because he's had 4 cannons in queue for like 10 minutes, and he just can't make them because he's not losing units fast enough with his army comp just being so much more robust. But we'll see now. Looks like some units going down. That's a lot of hand cannons for RecoN, so the Knight Mass could get whittled down much more efficiently here, and that's a good cleanup from RecoN.
DeMu, I think he has to cancel this castle. This is the stuff if RecoN pays attention to it, but instead, RecoN feels too threatened by the small force remaining. It looks like DeMu might be able to sneak this one up. The Maginot line starts to extend here, and RecoN, he's losing control.
I'm not even kidding. I legitimately think that losing that many units was good for DeMu, because he has cannons on the field now. He will have siege. He's going to push more efficiently now behind this keep crawl, which is looking really hot right now. And that sacred site's being grabbed as well, so the timer's going to start soon.
Keep in mind, the only thing keeping RecoN this game right now is the wood on the left and right flank, but both of them are unguarded. DeMu, he's got short-term memory that lets him process the long-term. He remembers that there was something over there. The Knights peel off. They go hunting for the gold gatherers. RecoN, if he loses control of that gold, he cannot reach critical mass in the hand cannoneers. He's only got 13. He hasn't even got 1,000 gold in reserve.
Yeah, this is looking rough for RecoN. But if he's able to do something, it could be cute. I mean, he's got a small army advantage here in the middle now again.
It's the keeps, though.
Gonna take out the Trebs.
These boys are stinging. He's trying to get through them, but it's costing him premium units here. Exposure on the backside. Springolds pushed back by these horsemen, and the formation shuffle makes sure that they go down. Bombard on the side has been trying to find some value. Knights, meanwhile, push him back beyond the threshold. RecoN, it's just taxes. There's no more gold for him.
Yeah, not being able to secure any relics. Well, he has one, I guess, but not securing the 8Ks, not securing the Sacred Sites, not securing the relics and the Castle Age when he was even faster to Castle Age this game, right? And it's just all falling apart. Look at DeMu's gold hasn't dropped below. I said it.
Insane.
God damn it, 3,000 much this game at all. I said that as I said that it went to like 2,900. Kind of makes me
You're
mad.
truly cursed. Do you want to try? Say DeMu's going to win this game.
No, I dare not. I dare not say anything like that. He's in a really good position this game, though, and the walls are being beat down. And it took RecoN put up a good fight here. I thought he would die a little faster, but again, the siege didn't come out as fast as DeMu wanted with the population. He's just maxed. But now that he's got these cannons and the trebs, it's just all working for him. And I mean, landmarks are going to be a problem soon for RecoN. I mean, I guess he's got the Spirit Way or whatever in the back, the gatehouse. Sorry,
it's irrelevant. The big issue is his farms.
Yeah.
He just lost half of his farms, right? Like it's nearest TC don't operate. He's got the back corner, but like he doesn't even have the infrastructure to produce anymore. Space has been a constant issue, not just for resource gain, but also for production rates. RecoN now down to 130 pop, hasn't even got the ability to reach max. And DeMu, meanwhile, has accumulatively got well over 10,000 resources in reserve. There is no sign of him letting up. This man is relentless. He wants his win, and he knows it is happening, whether it takes 7.5 minutes or sooner.
This has been a very delicious endgame from DeMu. Just in the sense that he's done everything by the books, right? Like, there hasn't been anything, like what move has he made that where you've gone, huh? Like, or why would you not do that? Or like, this isn't particularly efficient. There's almost like no point where you could have said that past like, I don't know, 20 minutes, right? And it's just, it's tough to see how RecoN comes back from that because he certainly wasn't able to like secure himself the army comp he needed this game. And the cannons blast away. The food income is drastically low for RecoN. The gold income is petered out. 500 stone in the bank. Not even enough for an emergency keep.
Hello, Darkness, my old friend. We've been here before, and Nestabes is gonna fire, but who cares? This is...
yeah, he doesn't care anymore.
I mean, this is just, like, I think you're right. This late game from DeMu has been on point. This guy, he's felt it, and it really shows you the power of the keep lines with the Red Palace. Like, the damage output is insane. The inability for you to even threaten them anymore. You know, it really felt like RecoN. DeMu saw how little the map he was going to take, and although it may seem unorthodox to French spammers, he looked and said, I'm taking late game against Chinese comfortably.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people always say that the French late game is bad, but it's only bad because it's fragile in the sense that, like, if you're not on the offensive, I think the French late game can be quite bad because if you're like losing your core keeps that are around your production buildings and you lose that bonus, if you lose the influence, the Civ becomes a lot harder to play, right? Like, that discount just goes so far in the late game when you're spamming knights like this that without it, it's almost impossible to play. So DeMu just did a really good job making sure he had a setup, and we saw that like lull in the Castle Age that we're like, oh, is like DeMu like really pulled his like foot off the gas, like he really slowed down. But what he was doing is he was setting up for that really strong late game that French can get to. Now, it's not the best army comp late game, but with that economy that he had, with that setup that he had, with the map control that he had, it just all worked in his favor really well. And you can see that in the Vil count there. Like, out booming China in a boom game, that's rough for RecoN. I mean, could say maybe the delay on Song was unwarranted, but I guess he really needed the Spearman against the Knights, so maybe that was how he had to play it.
I think it's acceptably done that, right? Because even if you've got the second TC, you don't have the hand cannon slits and that. It's just like it's hard to defend. And you know, some people might look at that and be like, "Wow, I don't think like DeMu played that well. Like lost all these knights to spears." It doesn't matter because of the detail you mentioned. It's the way that he optimized around keeps. It's the way that he ensured that he had these cheaper knights coming out. Right, he's saving 25% in the end, so that ends up being 180 for each knight with raw bloodlines that makes you inherently more tanky compared to a lot of matchups. When you've got an eco like that, it looks like negligent from DeMu, but it's simply not. It's him leveraging his huge eco lead in the most dynamic way possible. Sure, he could have built meta arms